Hello, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners, doing a video overview for the weekend of the ETFs. Why do we do the ETFs? And this is important. It's not that we like to look at a ton of charts. It's to make us better, more knowledgeable, more informed. Here's a fact. Leading groups produce leading stocks, and leading stocks produce leading groups. So we focus on strength, but we'll also flip that coin. Looking at these ETFs, the ones that are extremely weak, that also says, hey, avoid that group. Different sides of the same coin, but both very powerful for us. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to take a look at this. Robotics, you can see, this is a daily chart, all right? This is the 200-day, and that's the 50-day. And you can see it's just the green is 50, purple's 200-day. It's in a downtrend, and it's been in a downtrend for a long time. It tells you, stay away from robotic stocks. Continue onwards, cloud computing in a downtrend. Be careful with that. Don't argue with it. Next one, the Dow, the diamonds. Look at the decline here. Below all the moving averages, falling on heavy volume. Be careful with the Dow stocks. Continue onward, IBD 50 in a downtrend. Be careful with that, all right? This is an important proxy, this one. The IBD 50 is a great list of stocks, a great list. And look what it's been doing for a while. And that's not a criticism of Investors Daily. It's simply reporting that leading stocks, they're really not doing too much right now. That's good to know. It helps keep us safe. And that's important too. Remember this, part of making money is not losing money. This one focuses on the MAXLIST stocks, as you can see, and it's in a steady downtrend. Be careful with that. China, there's really not much power with China, folks. A little bit, but it needs to show more, taking out these tops. One plus is that was good volume on that bar, and it closed strong. So maybe it'll start to lift with China or Chinese stocks. Gold miners, that's showing a little bit of life, okay? I just showed you about 5, 6 ETFs that look pretty weak. This one's kind of hanging in. It's not near breaking out. It needs to come through these tops right here. All right, we'll set an alert right there. There we go, just for what it's worth. Now look at gold. Gold is picking up. You can see we had an alert set on this, and this triggered, and some members bought it. There you go, gold, and we added to it also, okay? Look at the base. It's leading. I just showed you about 7 or 8 different ETFs that look awful. Look at this one. That's why it's owned. There we go, and that's why it was on the key list. Biotechnology, stay away. I don't overthink it like, oh, maybe it's going to bounce. Don't play the maybe game. Buy strength. Avoid weakness. This is weakness, and it has been a week. Leave it alone. Continue onwards. Oil, it was strong for a while, but it's starting to pull back here a bit. Be careful with that. Software technology, another technology software ETF. Look at this. Stay away from software. Be careful. Medicine, they need medicine. Dow Jones medicine, I think they need drugs. Okay, nothing to do. Mid-cap, nothing there. Leave it alone. Aerospace and defense, this lifted up. This is basing here, and hopefully it could start to lift off. But what was the catalyst on this? Just the awful stuff that's happening over there. Okay, so that's it. Biotechnology, or excuse me, U.S. home construction, nothing there. Stay away. It's been that way for a while. Growth is lagging. Look at this. The S&P 500 growth index tells you to stay away from growth stocks. How about this? IWM, small caps, stay away from small caps. Real estate, stay away from real estate. Oh, by the way, this was good for a while. We had a nice run in some real estate stocks, okay? But look at it now. It's been falling. Leave it alone. That's simple. Transports, nope, nothing there. Stay away. Airlines, they've been grounded. There you go. If my kids listen to this, they'd say, there's dad humor for you. But you can see it's been dropping. And this is what's powerful. I'm not trying to be cute and cavalier. It's been telling us for a long time, stay away from the airline stocks. It's good to know what to look at for potential buys. It's good to know what to avoid. That helps us. Regional banking, no power, be careful there. Mid-cap lagging, steadily falling, fell on a heavier volume on Friday too. And it's been in a downtrend for a while. We've avoided mid-cap stocks. Oil services was strong. We had some oil services stocks that worked great. And now it's just kind of sloppy here. You be kind of careful with it. All right. Pharmaceuticals, another, ooh, look at that. Yeah, I think they do need medicine. There's nothing good there. NASDAQ 100, QLD. I love QLD. But look what it's been doing here. All right. This is a great, I said this at the IBD meetups for years. The air's better above a rising 50-day moving average line. There's better. Kind of focus on stuff like that. That'll help you. QQQ dropping, be careful with that. Retailing, there's no real power there. Silver, okay, what was the other ETF that I said looked decent? GLD, gold, silver, which are kind of defensive plays too. And look what this did in a crummy market on Friday. This actually lifted off. Now, this is the 200-day. It really needs to come across these tops here, okay? But there was decent volume on Friday. Maybe something to look going forward. There we go. Steel, not a lot of power. Semiconductors, and again, you can see the name in the upper left-hand corner. Semiconductors, nothing. Nothing there, leave it alone. Down on the 200-day. Spiders, below the 200-day and falling on heavy volume. And folks, this is why we haven't been buying stocks. We don't argue with the markets and we don't argue with the stocks. Dropping here on heavy selling volume. It's telling you, be careful. And we have been. SSO, same situation. Solar, lagging, be careful with it. Small caps, lagging, be careful with it. Uranium, kind of hanging in. Okay, kind of a narrow group though. Okay. Oh, oil. Isn't that interesting? Do you see the theme here? There's another oil stock. Energy related. But it doesn't look too bad taking out these tops. I just showed you a bunch of ETFs that don't look too good. This one looks better, doesn't it? There you go. Consumer. The consumer's not buying, as you can tell. Be careful with that. Aerospace and defense, no power there. Be careful with aerospace and defense. Biotech, another biotech ETF. There's nothing good there. Home builders was great, as we noted on another ETF, and now there's nothing there. We leave it alone. Materials. How do you build homes? You need materials. See the connection there? Great lesson there. Communications. Trouble there. Be careful with that group. Energy, lagging. Okay. Showed you an oil stock that's looking good, but energy overall is lagging too. There's an important lesson here. When the market's rough, by and large, it's hard to find any areas of strength that you can get involved with confidence. Be careful here. That's my point I want to make. Know this. It'll get better. I guarantee it. I've been doing this since 1986. It'll get better. And we'll be ready. We'll be ready with a clear head and no baggage. No financial baggage, no psychological baggage. Both things are really important. I love that. Continue onwards. Financials. It's not good when financials are lagging. All right? Remember that. Financials are really important. Not so much going on there, right? Industrials lagging, no power there. Technology. It's been telling you a while, be careful with technology. Consumer staples, no real power there. Healthcare, nothing there, be careful with it. Consumer discretionary, no power there. Metals and mining, a little bit. Now, metals and mining, what was the ETF that we talked about? Oh, gold and silver. How do you get those out of the ground? You mine them out of the ground, right? And look at this. This one's hanging in here. Now, this is a potential higher low setup. There's tons of overhead. The point is this, it's exhibiting a little bit of strength here. There you go, in relation to a lot of others. There's oil ETF, oil and gas, not a lot of power there. Got to leave it alone. Retailer, they're not buying the retailing stocks. Software near lows, what's right near the lows of the year here? All right, software stocks, stay away, that's been saying that. Now we go in and we take a look at the big MAXLIST stocks. And you can see Apple in a definite downtrend, okay? You can see it on the weekly, you can see it on the daily. It's below all the moving averages, fell on fairly heavy volume on Thursday, up on less volume Friday, okay? Not much power here. Be careful with that. That's all. Amazon lifted off. He goes, oh, look at that. What did that? Earnings did this. Earnings did this. And it also helped lift the market, the NASDAQ market a bit, okay? I really believe if Amazon had had bad numbers and dropped, the NASDAQ really would have gotten hit hard. But this kind of saved it a little bit, okay? Now, it showed power on Friday. Look at that, up on heavy volume. Perhaps if it takes out the tops of that bar right there, this high bar, and the market's okay, this could be a potential buy. But team, I can't stress, you've got to have a good market. Can't stress that enough. Let's continue onwards. Alibaba, Chinese related, some life, but it's below all the moving averages. Be careful with that. It's in a steady downtrend, okay? Just kind of watch out for that. BIDU, same situation. Be careful with that. Google, this was because of earnings. And this is an important lesson for everybody. Know the earnings dates. It only takes a hit like this to really mess a person up financially and psychologically, where you become afraid. And you don't want that. You don't want to operate under the guise of fear. All right? There's nothing to do with this right now. Leave it alone. All right? Goldman Sachs in a definite downtrend. You can just see it. Don't argue with it. It's falling. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Well, maybe this is the bottom. Don't play the maybe game. Stack the deck in your favor. All right? Nothing here. Leave it alone. Continue onwards. MasterCard. Yeah, it's everywhere you don't want to be. Right here. And that was earnings. That was earnings. There's nothing to do with it. Just leave it alone. Remember that name, MasterCard. You'll know why in a minute. Meta. What caused this to lift on Friday? Amazon earnings. But what caused this decline? Meta earnings. All right? That was serious selling on that bar, folks. Okay? And here's the weekly. What is it saying? It's below the 50-day. Be careful. There's not a clean setup at this point, a really clean setup at this point in time. Okay? Continue onwards. Microsoft. Earnings did this. Gaps up. Wow, that's great. And that's indicative of what's going on in the market. What's it do? Well, first off, look at where it opened and look at where it closed. It was met with selling on that gap up day. And then it just continues falling with the market. Perhaps if it takes out the highs here, that could be a potential buy. But we need a good market, just for what it's worth. Netflix lifted up on earnings, and now it's basing. Maybe it will form a little handle here and take off. Wait for it, though. Wait for that to happen. Wait for two things. Wait for a good market, and wait for good price and volume action on the individual stock. NVDA, there's no real power there, okay? It's been great, all right? Had a double bottom set up right here, as you can see, and it lifted off. And I advise people, sell some into strength and don't argue with price. If you did that, you made money. And if not, now you're losing. The tactics work. Selling some. And I'll say it again, don't let a good profit turn into a loss. That helps. Nothing really to do with it at this point in time. Tesla. Tesla may have a higher low setup, but it's very aggressive, all right? And distribution here on the weekly, below the falling 50-day, it's a rough pattern. Be careful with it. Just pointing out, though, this low is higher than this low. That's good to see. That's good to see. Continue onwards. Visa, just like MasterCard, really nothing to do with it. Leave it alone. Take that further. There you go. And now I stuck Intel in here. Intel had earnings, and that's what caused the gap up, as you can see. Could that be, if this market heats up, could it go across these tops? And I'll draw this for you. Clean tops there. By the way, please don't think you've got to get it to the penny. Just across the tops. Takes out the highs on this bar with volume. That could be a potential buy.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.